Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Okay, before we start I'm going to tell you what this video is about because it's something that I have spoken about before but on IGTVs, but there's a lot of new people after following me recently and I'm putting this out on different channels as well. So today's video is going to be about NEAT, N-E-A-T, that's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So if you have heard this video before, there is no need to listen. Okay, so NEAT, what's it all about? I'm just going to plug in this microphone because there's a good chance that this could go dead. Okay, cool. Right, what's it all about? It is the amount of calories that you burn just by moving. And I can't tell you how important just simply moving and simply walking is. I'm not talking about doing cardio, I'm not talking about going for a run, I'm not talking about doing high intensity stuff, I'm not talking about any of that. Just simply moving. So I'm going to give you a case scenario. So there is 168 hours in the week. I always get this mixed up. It's either 168 or 186. I'm pretty certain it's 168 hours in the week. And 7 days. And I had someone recently, not recently, a few months ago, they came to me and said, look, I'm struggling to keep my weight, manage my weight. Look, I'm exercising four times a week, 4 or 5 times a week. My food is good. I can't understand where I'm going wrong. So my first thing is going, okay, well, so let's just say it's 4 hours a week you're exercising. So that's 4 hours out of 168. So that leaves you 164, and you sleep for 50. Okay, so that's leaving you 114 hours that we don't know what's going on. And they kind of looked at me and said, what do you mean? Well, it's quite simple. The only way that I could be able to track what you're doing outside of exercising and outside of your gym work and outside of what you're eating is by tracking your steps. So tracking of the steps is probably it's the most accountable factor of my online programs at the minute, and the Operation Transformation. I'm always hounding people about steps, wanting to know what steps they got in, and what target they hit, and so on and so forth. And they're the average. I always get asked, what step count what am I supposed to hit on a daily basis? And the answer is between 10,000 steps is kind of the baseline where I try to get most people to. Sometimes if we're looking at a bit more, I might go 12, kind of 15,000. But the one thing that I would suggest to people is, if you're in an office job where you're sitting down, I have one guy that does a 12-hour shift, and he does a 12-hour shift that's sitting down. He drives an hour to work and he drives an hour home. So he's 14 hours in the day sitting down. So his step count is extremely low, which means the amount of food that he eats, it's very, very, very easy for him to put on body fat if he's not careful, because he's just not burning off what he's putting in. And it simply means the more that you burn, the more you burn off, the more you walk off, the more you can eat. It's a win-win situation. But if you're someone that has a desk job, you're static, you're not moving, it's going to be difficult. So what I would say is track your steps. And especially if any of you on LinkedIn are listening to this and you're in a cubicle or you're in an office space of some description, I can probably tell you the average for somebody in that scenario is between 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day, depending upon. So that's obviously quite low. So you'd look to push that, but the first thing you need to do is you need to measure where you are. So you'd get a Fitbit. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be the cheapest thing going, as long as it tracks your steps. So you would do 1 week of doing everything as normal and have a look at your step count and say, right, okay, I can see a trend here. I'm doing, when I go to work, I'm going to work Monday to Friday, say, and I'm doing 5,000 steps a day, 4,000 steps a day, whatever the case is. And then the weekend comes along and I seem to be getting more. I seem to be getting 8, maybe 9,000 steps. Then Sunday comes, maybe I was out Saturday night and maybe I'm back to 3,000 steps. So you see this trend kind of form. You go, right, okay, well, I kind of know where my baseline is. So yes, it would ideally, you'd like to see you at 10,000, but it's not going to work if you go to 10,000 steps on Monday, because it's completely different to what you're used to. And us as humans, like we find change, flick of a switch change, very difficult. So the best way is to evolve and adapt into it. So simple things like going, when you go to the shop, and it's pointless saying you don't do it because we all do it. Everybody parks as closest to the supermarket door as you possibly can, because God forbid you park in the far off space and have to walk the rest of the way. So start parking in the far off space, start walking to the door, clocking up more and more steps like that. If you're in a building and there's a staircase and you're taking the lift, start taking the stairs. The amount of people that I see in multi-story car parks going to the second floor or first floor and taking the lift. I mean, it's absolutely crazy that we're gone that lazy. We're in a world of convenience. We're in a world of, like, everything has to be as easy as possible and as simple as we make it. It's pull up to any McDonald's and have a look at the drive-through. It's people won't even get out of the car now to eat. It's crazy the amount of activity that we don't do anymore. So simple things like that: going to a petrol station, park in the far off petrol pump. Walk that bit further. If you're in the shop, make sure and go up and down the aisles. Simple stuff. If there's something to be got and you see it across the room, instead of asking somebody out in across the room to pass it, you get up and walk over and get it. If there's things to be done around the house, do them. Don't put them off. And just on a daily basis, be accountable to yourself and check your step count, because it makes a massive, massive difference. One of the key areas that I work on when I'm even getting ready for a competition myself is, and I'm getting others ready, is we really focus on the step count, because that's you're accountable for not that 1 hour a day, not that 30 minutes of cardio, not that 40 minutes of cardio, or that 20-minute hit session. You're accountable for all the hours you're awake, and it's really, really surprising how real things get when you go, oh, I only hit 3,000 steps today. Shit, I've got to send that step count to Alistair on a check-in, or I've got to send it to whoever on a check-in, and the figures don't lie. So that is it. Do not underestimate NEAT. N-E-A-T. It's non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and it's when your body is just moving. Your heart rate is in 2 figures. It's not in 3 figures. Cardio is a completely different thing, and works in a completely different way. So just simply move. I'll give you another case. There was no such thing as obesity 50 years ago. Did you know that? It just wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing. There was no obesity. Ireland is now, like, we've 4.5 million people in this country, and we've got the second highest obesity rate in Europe. That is absolutely crazy considering the size of our population. It's ludicrous. By the scale and population of the country, I would say we're actually number 1. And the UK is number 2. And we'll actually, if Brexit goes ahead, we'll actually be number 1 in Europe. So it's a pretty sad statistic, to be fair. So simply move. Stop with the convenience. Like I said, 50 years ago, there was no convenient foods. We didn't drive everywhere. We walked it. We walked much more. We were all outdoors. We were all doing things. We were much more active than we are now. Simple things. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need a crazy workout plan. You don't need a lot of things. You just need to move. Simple as that. Some of my biggest losses to date. I have a guy who lost, Chucky, he lost 7 stone in a year, just under, in under a year, I think. No, it was a year. And he lost 7 stone in a year, continues still to maintain that weight, got rid of it all. That's 42 kilos, it's a lot of weight, like. And he got rid of that. He never set foot inside in the gym. He watched his food, watched his calories, and he just started to be more active. Simple. So that's it, guys. Hope you got some value from that video. Please feel free to share it or tag anyone or send it on and whatever platform you see this on. And catch you all on the next one, and thanks for watching.